I walk the streets with my swagger on, supernatural, facing a million opponents, and my role is to act alone. Lights, camera when the action's on. Where I roam is a battle zone, a vigilante in the catacombs. But I rock with a hot shot like a clock when it's cocked and popped and the lead is thrown. People say that my head is gone, but it's them same people with need of my help when I'm heading home in life. They say that everybody got a purpose, so I roam the city streets like faulty cellular service. The hot shot sharpshooter superhero, destined to shine like light through the dark and evil. I fight for what's right in the hearts of people and try to open y'all eyes, cause it's hard to see truth. You ever feel like everybody's the same but you different? That's when you know you're here to make a difference. Hot shot, you got a choice to make, stand up or stand down. Fight or flight, get up, bang out the world's weight. Can't wait to see what you about. It's showtime, act now. Hot shot, you got a choice to make, stand up or stand down. Fight or flight, get up and bang out the world's weight. Can't wait to see what you about. It's showtime, act now. Hot shot.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? I am Mike Watson, the publisher of Freestyle Comics, and your host on this show called Chat and Draw. Welcome to the show. How you doing, chat? Hope everyone's doing really good. Very excited for tonight's episode. We have a very dope guest in the show. That terrible singing I was doing is going to give you a hint, but don't blame me if you couldn't get it because my singing is so bad. But look, we're here getting you guys caught up. We are 300 plus episodes in the Chat and Draw. All right. And we have a rack of stars coming onto the show. So every Wednesday night, 8 p.m., this is where you want to be at Eastern time. Locked in, clicked in for the show and what we have going on. We have the Kickstarter has shipped for Hotshot, everybody. I've been getting messages from people. They're getting their packages. People are opening their packages. Jackets have been shipped off today. I got notification from the website distributor. The jackets have been shipped. Hats have been shipped. So you are getting, if you have not gotten your tracking number, if you check your email, check your spam for your tracking number and your download codes. If you still don't have those after checking it, just message me and I will get it out to you. All right. If you have not gotten anything at all, it might be because you didn't fill out your survey. And we've been pushing for the surveys for like 5 months. So, all right. And then we have Middletown Comic Expo coming up on September 14th. If you are in Middletown, Ohio, if you are in Columbus, Ohio, if you're in Cleveland, if you're in Cincinnati, if you're in Dayton, if you're just in the state of Ohio, you need to come to this. This is the first time show in Middletown, and Freestyle Comics is a major sponsor in a big way. Shout out to Tony Clapper, the creator, writer of 5 Star. This is his town, his city, and he's the star of the show, and he kindly invited FSK down to hang out with them September 14th for a day. Bouncy houses and all types of good stuff will be there for your play. Comic books, prints, and as always, good times. Shout out to our sponsor, Clip Studio. I am using Clip Studio to draw tonight. And if you are interested in drawing digitally, or you know somebody else that's been asking about it, or you're just curious about Clip Studio, scan that. And because that is our sponsor, we are giving away a 90-day trial version of Clip Studio for free for you to get in there and fandangle and play with everything and see if you like it. And I'm telling you, you're going to like it. necessarily you're going to end up getting into. But this gives you a great opportunity to try out an amazing program. All right, I think that's got us all caught up. I think we are caught up on all the trends and stuff. Oh, real quick, got to get my geek out here. Alkalite, Star Wars. Shut up, y'all are getting on my nerves. That was a good show. Was it perfect? No, it was not perfect. But people have been advocating to see black and brown people, lesbian, gay people, all in this fandom, and the show gave it to you, and you destroyed it. You destroyed it without giving it a chance, and it got canceled. And Disney, I'm kind of holding your coals under the fire as well, because you should have gave that show one more season. You should have let it cooked. You should have let it cooked. That's all I'm saying. And the toxic fandom of Star Wars needs to calm down. Everything isn't made for you. All right? That's all I'm saying, man. Other people want to see themselves holding lightsabers, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, I got my rant off because I've been seeing that's been coming in my timeline a lot. I'm done. All right, so let's get in here with our awesome guests.
Wait a second. A new opponent has interrupted the tournament.
What's up, Adassa? How you doing?
I'm doing great. So glad to be with you today.
Oh, so excited to have you here today. I'm going to give you kind of the screen to introduce yourself, let everybody know who you are and what it is that you exactly do. She's awesome.
Well, my name is Adassa, and I'm the voice of Dolores from Disney's Encanto. And I've been able to do music for many, many years. So I've featured with Pitbull and Flo Rida, Snoop, Daddy Yankee, traveled the world. I mean, this has been an amazing ride, and I'm so glad to be with you tonight, and so glad to join in with all of you in the fun.
Awesome. That is so incredible. We love Encanto in this house. My daughters love it. We've watched it so many times. And so it is really awesome to be speaking with one of the actresses from that show. And it was a great show. So first off, I'm gonna have to start us off with my kind of our initial question here of when did you fall in love with music? Like when did that grab a hold of you and get you started?
Well, I started singing since I was really young in church with my family, and that's where it got me. Like, I wanted to be able to entertain. But the moment that I knew that I was in love with all things princess and fantasy was when I heard part of that world. Like, to hear part of your world, to see Ariel, I was like, that's it. I want to be part of that world one day. And so, my dream was to be an extra at Disney. That was it. Like I had a tangible goal. Then I met my husband, my now husband, and he was like, you know what? Let's do the music in a different way. And so I went the reggaeton Latin music route, and I was so grateful to have been able to feature and tour with so many great artists like Enrique Iglesias and then I thought it was done. And so I retired from music. And that's when I got an email from my YouTube channel. And I got it on my phone, which I had just upgraded my phone. And then all these messages came through. And at the top of that was, hey, we'd like to get a hold of Adassa for an opportunity. And I was like, oh, yeah, of course, an opportunity. I thought it was a trick, one of those, and if you write to us here, you'll get like a $2 million delivery. But I still wrote back. I was like, hi, this is Naomi. I'm Adassa's assistant. You can reach her manager at. Like, next thing I know, my husband's calling me from our studio that we have in our home. And he's like, hey, it's Disney. Let's get on this. And so that's how that happened. They took me out of retirement.
Okay, that's what's up. Very awesome to hear that. So, how is it being a voice actress? I know you've done a couple other things in the voice actor role, but also your singing career and things like that. When you do you have a preference on what you want to do? Do you lean more towards voice acting? I know you said you retired, but now you're kind of like back out here.
I love to my number one moment. I think that there's a little bit of actress in all of us. When you have kids, you gotta be in there. You can't take things too seriously. You really can't. And so I had done things for like McDonald's and Procter and Gamble, Toyota and different brands, but never as a voiceover until Disney came a knocking. And I was like, well, let's all find out together. But I had a lot of fun with it. I really did. I think that bringing that character to life and to be able to be the one to voice Dolores was, honestly, it is just such a magical experience and an honor to voice this character that represents Afro-Latinos in such a beautiful way. And then to be able to be with Wilmer Valderrama and, John Leguizamo and Stephanie Beatriz, Diane Guerrero. I mean, there's just so many amazing people on this cast. And now we're forever a family. And we all just received our plaques too from Disney. They surprised us with our 8 million albums sold, plaque.
Oh, wow.
Our platinum plaque.
That's awesome. 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 So, when it comes to being a creative and, trying to stay, somewhat level in the field, how do you balance the work with your regular life?
I don't think there's such thing as balance. I think there is a thing of priorities. So if you can prioritize what is truly important, that's where you will find your joy. Because I feel like a day only has 24 hours, and some of that you should spend sleeping. So sometimes, as a mom and as a creative and owning businesses, which I do with my husband as well, there are so many things that we have to juggle. But at the end of the day, what is your why? And I think that if you live in pursuit of fulfilling your why, you will always be glad at the end of the day that you were able to fulfill your priorities. So if in a given day, I'm like, I need to take my kids to this special activity, but I also have, like right now, I have this interview, I make sure to prioritize the most important things. I'm a homeschooling mom as well. So like I make sure I
Oh,
do
okay.
homeschooling, I do like the food for my kids and everything like that. And then I make sure that I have enough time and space to be able to also live my creative life. And I think it's the best example that we can give our children is that just because you are a parent, life does not stop. You don't cease to exist. To the contrary, you get to be the example to your children of if you have a goal in life, if you have a dream, there is a way to fulfill it and not lose also having a beautiful family and having time for yourself because you need space to gather your bearings and to not go crazy because this business can really take its toll on you. So if
Mhm.
you find yourself, a little bit of at odds of what to do, find a sheet of paper, as simple as that. Fill out your priorities. And remember, nothing can be 911. Everything cannot be the most important thing you do. There's no such thing. And you will find that there is something that takes precedence over another. And so I live my days making sure that I get through as many priorities as I can. And at the end of the day, if there are some priorities in the list that I didn't get to, I try to start my other day, my next day, with those in mind as top things that I want to fulfill.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. So, how long have you been singing? How long have you
Oh.
been doing this?
I have been singing since I was like 8 years old. And so it's been over 30 years of music for me. I
Mhm.
love music. I love being on stage. But as you get older, you understand the footprint that you're leaving behind. And so when I started music, I just like, I want to be the best. I want to be, on top. And so you start making decisions that looking back you go, oh well, that was me then, this is me now. I learned a lot of things, but at the same time I know that I can look at my girls and say, you know what, if you want something you also have to be willing to say this is where my principles lie and I'm not going to cross that line. And I have that line. Personally, I do. And I know there's a lot of artists that don't. They're just like, I will do anything. And anything is very broad and it's very risky to live in the land of anything and everything it takes. I thought I was willing to do that until there was a line that I had to draw. And I
Oh,
was like, I don't pass that line because I want to be able to look at myself in the mirror and I want to be able to look at my children and say, you know what? You can be great at something and get to the point that you're like, I'm no longer going to cross this line, but I could still have a great life. And I've been blessed to be able do that, and share that with my kids and with my family. But I love what I do. I really do. And sometimes I even take my kids with me, like to Comic Cons. I'm like, or like on tour with me. Like if I'm going to be singing in front of 40,000 people, I'm like, let's bring the kids along. And so I do.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the work-life balance and you giving that to us and explaining how you make that survive. It's really incredible for the inclusiveness of including your family and things like that. Tony, what's up, man? Thanks for joining the chat. J Man, here you are. What's up? Henry, the F1 guy, how are you? And he says he's been a huge fan of you for a minute.
Oh, thank you. It's a beautiful thing to be able to do what we do and be able to bring smiles and joy to people. I think that when I met you at a Comic Con, I was like, man, I was so glad that we were like across from each other. And to see your art is just spectacular. And look at what you create on the fly. This is amazing. So I didn't think twice about doing this. And for those of you out there who are looking for their opportunities and their moment in the light, I could just tell you one thing: just be good, be the greatest at what you do, and your opportunity will be there. And you will be ready for it, because the worst that can happen to you is that you dream of something, and when that opportunity comes to you, you're not ready. So just
Mm,
be ready, be constantly ready. Don't think, well, I wish this could happen, for me, or I want to be an artist, or I want to be a singer, or I want to be this or that. And then you're not preparing so you can fulfill that manifestation of what you are seeing for yourself. And for me personally, there are times that I have to say no to projects where one of those projects goes against one of my principles, one of my guiding principles in my life, or if it's going to take me away from my family too much. So I think that's individually what everybody has to decide, as you go through life. Is this the kind of life I'm going to be happy with if I work this hard, or if I do this thing, if I take that event or that gig, or that role? Am I going to be able to live with myself, or yeah, or no, so I live
yeah.
in a constant fulfillment of my daily life, and to make sure that when I'm older, I can look back and say I don't have any regrets. So
That is a very good thing to have and to be able to do that, to be able to figure that out and know what your cutoff is. So I really do also. I think we need to hear that because there's a lot of us out here chasing down our dreams. A lot of us trying to do the job that isn't the job because it makes us happy.
yeah,
And I think that's a valid point of you saying, like, when you're out here and you're trying to get it, you're like, I'll do anything. But then you come across a couple situations where like, oh, well, no, I won't do anything. This is a pullback for us. So thank you for giving that info.
yeah.
Um, so I'm gonna be kind of hopping around here, and that's kind of what I do while I'm drawing. But let's, if you can, take us back to day one, walking into the studio, getting ready to voice Dolores in
Oh
Encanto.
man.
What was that like? Was there nervousness? Was there anxious? Like what was it?
Well, for starters, it was during the pandemic. So we did
Mm,
not get to go directly to studios. Every single one of us were in different parts of the world. I think um, that Stephanie, Beatrice, and Jessica Darrow were the only ones that were able to go and test in person. And that was like
oh,
right at
okay.
the cutoff of the pandemic. And after that, all of us were in different parts of the world. Like I was here in Tennessee, other people were like in New York, LA, or California, Miami. And so we had to tune in. And that was the most incredible experience, because you're going on Zoom. Like when I saw, Jared Bush, Byron Howard, Yvette Merino pop on, and Jamie Sparrow Roberts, which was the casting director for this film, who's also the amazing casting director for Raya and the Last Dragon, and Frozen, and
Ooh,
Wreck-It Ralph, and I mean just film upon film that you go, oh my gosh, of course, her casting skills are amazing. And to be there in that moment, I was like, I'm glad they're not looking at my legs, because they were like shaking. It was all professional here, and it was like dancing on the bottom. But it was so nice to be directed by them, because when you're creating a character, they give you some keywords and like key elements for you to keep in mind when you're creating it. And then they ask you to try things with your voice. And so as I'm giving my performance, and they're asking me, we'll go a little slower, a little lighter, a little softer, at first, Dolores was going to be a little bit more like excited and things like that. And then I reached a moment where I was just a little more soft spoken, and they were like, "Oh my goodness, yes, let's do some more of that." So that's where you get the only one worried about the magic is you and the rats talking in the walls. Oh, and Luisa, I heard her eye twitching all night.
I love it. I love it so much. All right. Well, that's really cool. So by at this time, I mean, you've had a few gigs. I've looked up like ton of reference images for you to figure out like what I was going to draw for you today. So you are no stranger to the red carpet and
No.
and events and things like that. When you were coming up doing all this stuff, like how did you keep yourself grounded? Because when, like you said, when we talked at Comic Con, I felt like you were a very like solid and grounded individual. Like, yes, you have done some very grand things. You've been a voice actress. You're doing the singing and you have albums and stuff like that. But like, you were very down to earth and very realistic and grounded. Like, so how did you not get swept away by Hollywood?
You need to know who you are. And I think that I know what I stand for and I know who I am. And if people want to accept me into their circle so I can come in and play, I'm excited to do so. I also got very sick along with my family, and we got COVID right before I was cast in this film. And when I got cast, literally that day that I gave my performance and I was doing a piece from Hamilton. So this is what it feels like to match wits with someone at your level. What the hell is a catch? It's the feeling of freedom, of seeing the light that's been fractured with a key and a kite. You see it right? And that was one of the pieces that I auditioned with. And the next day I was in the hospital and I was just battling for my life. It was such a whirlwind because the day before I was feeling excited and happy. The next day I thought I was pregnant. So I went to the doctor and I went to get a blood test. And then within 30 minutes, I couldn't talk. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do anything. And I lost the ability to speak and to even move. And so when I actually stepped on that carpet, to me, it was a miraculous moment because just a few months back, I barely could hold a cup of water. And being a mom and feeling like I can't even be of service to my family. And then going from that and having my recuperation and then being with everybody there in that moment and take that picture, there was no stress. There was no stress. There was just gratitude. Gratitude. I mean, I believe in God and I believe that I was saved so that I can exist another day. It wasn't to sing, it wasn't to entertain. So my life has shifted because I live in a constant state of awareness of just being alive. And so for me, moving my fingers now, it means a lot. Being able to walk means everything. Being able to speak and sing is a gift. And so I live in a constant state of humble gratitude. And that's it. So nothing really intimidates me. Ask me that question 10 years ago when I was like feisty. Yes, I would have been like, and I almost threw up, you know, when I went on that carpet and I saw Shakira and I saw, Beyonce, whatever. But when we went to the Oscars and we all got to perform We Don't Talk About Bruno, which we were all excited to do. And I'm standing, cameras are about to roll, and I'm Will Smith and Jada Pinkett right here. John Travolta's right on the other side. Serena Williams is there. You got Chris Rock in the building. There were so many people. And to me, it was just like, I'm just among other people who get to have fun and play together too. So what we wear, what we do, all of that, yeah, it's part of being part of the squad. But we're just people who love doing what they do and are given an opportunity to do so.
Love it. Awesome. Awesome. All right, hold on here. So
Wow, that looks good. By the way.
thank you. Thank you. So seeing you kind of remind me of Jean Grey, the Phoenix, like in her Phoenix form. So, and that's why I also want to know like what kind of anime or comic or movie or whatever you're into. And My Hero Academia, I absolutely love. And so I'm trying to put a blend of a bit of My Hero inspiration with some Phoenix Force in there because I feel like you are a force. You are, you're so bold and big when you sing, when you like just now, like when you come alive and you switch into those different voices and then you're hitting those little notes real quick for us. Like it's like a surge of power. So that's what I'm trying to capture here.
I like it.
And then also, I was going to back up and say, I actually absolutely feel you on the COVID situation. I was put in the hospital with COVID and was down for a while myself, so I definitely know or can understand how that is because that sucks. Everybody in my house got it, and I got it last, and I just thought that was a regular code because obviously I've been trying to keep away from everybody, but then helping them, and then one day I couldn't sit up. Like if I stood up, like I would get sharp pains in my lungs. I would fall back down, like my and like apparently I'd have been sleeping like on the couch, like in my studio for like 2 days, and didn't realize how long it'd been. My brother had been calling me trying to figure out what I'm at, and he had to come over and carry me out the house to the hospital. It was not a fun thing.
Whoa.
So
No, I think that the homes that in which it didn't hit, find yourselves grateful for that, because it was a shadow that it was cast on our family. Like I literally wrote my will, and
mm,
it was bad. I mean, I couldn't walk and talk at the same time. I would faint if I tried to do those two things, and there were moments I would be completely paralyzed. And I think that during that time, I think it refocused the world on priorities.
mhm.
I think that people had to take a minute and see, am I really living a life in which every minute counts? And that's how I try to live now. I try to live trying to be the best mom I can be, and try to fill myself with useful knowledge instead of scrolling endlessly. I mean, those cat videos are fun. I'm not gonna lie, they're cute, but I don't waste any time. I really do sometimes even get upset when I have to go to sleep because I'm like, oh, 6 hours in which I'm not gonna be able to get something done. Like, but that's life.
Nah, I feel that. I get up early and then I work. I do this stuff all day, and then like I do it into the night too. So I get caught up
Mm.
in staying up late and getting up early, and I fight it off because like it once I get a rhythm and I'm going, I don't want to lose it. Yesterday I was working on these children book pages, and I already had the characters designed, but like about page 4 I found it. Like I found the symmetry of the characters. I was doing some really expressive stuff with their faces, and
Oh,
so freaking 2 o'clock in the morning comes. I'm like, all right, well I need to go to sleep. And then I got up, got myself dressed and came down to get back to work on it today. And then I'm sitting here for 45 minutes, like I didn't want to break that momentum. It's so hard to get it back. So, what are some tricks? What do you do to get yourself back on track?
oh my, that is a hard question. It is. I think that to get me back on track, number one, that is hard for me sometimes to snap out of it and go to something else. I think that I personally, what's really worked is have a schedule. And like I put
Mm,
all of my priorities on that list, and I have to say, hey, there's something else on that list. So I can't just focus all my energy on doing this. And I have to move on. I have to move on. I have to leave it alone. This is as far as I got. And so I try to take it more like a game. And
mm-hmm,
and I have to see it like, if I was playing a game, would I want to finish every single level every single day? It'd be like, no, then it wouldn't be fun anymore. So the only way I could step away from it is to treat it more as a game, and like tomorrow I get to play the game again. And so I got to leave something unresolved. There's always has to be a little cliffhanger to your life. Otherwise, why are you going to wake up tomorrow? Leave yourself good little cliffhangers to wake up to.
I feel it. I feel it. All right. Henry said he is a huge fan of yours. I put that up there. I didn't know if you got to check that out. What's up, Kyron?
Sweet. Yeah.
Brad, how are you doing as well? So, what
Aw.
do you have anything that is on the horizon you can promote or talk about that you have in the works now, or is everything secret, secret?
I can talk about a project that I'm doing, and it is with Angel Studios. It's called Tuttle Twins, and I'm going to be playing myself in an episode which is about having religious freedoms, because that is something that we should uphold and protect. The ability for all of us to be able to make our decisions, regardless whether we have some or not, just to have that right to practice our religion, and not get in the way of somebody else doing it as well. And then I have another album that I just finished up, and it's called That's Where I'm At. And that's with Shadow Mountain Records. It just came out. We just finished the video, and y'all will have it real soon. So if you want to check that out, go on my socials, Adassa Official on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all the good stuff. And you'll get to see some sneak peeks behind the scenes. I recorded it here in my house. It's just a day in my life, and that's what this album is about. It's about gratitude, happiness, joy, and even some of the overwhelming feelings that we have when we all want to fulfill everything at the same time. So, and because I am a Latina, I also have a Latin project I'm doing right now, and it's called Adassa y los Locos, which has some animation to it. So it's really fun because I get to live out my Colombian, Tejano, Mexican side with my husband and with our musician friend. His name is Eric, with the Adassa y los Locos. And then I get to also lean into my hip hop slash countryside because I do live here in Nashville. And I fell in love with country music, how expressive their lyrics are. But I put my swing on it, you know what I mean? So it's got a
Mhm.
little bit of a hip hop feel to the country style that we do. And I'm just excited about the future projects, some of which I cannot talk
Right, right,
about.
right.
They won't let me. But you will all soon hear what those are. So excited to share with all of you what those are in the very, very near future.
Incredible. Okay, so as a creative, and obviously you getting gigs, you being requested to sing, you being requested to do any voice acting, or even in your own businesses, we do have people that are also creators, up and coming, trying to make this thing happen. So I like to try to ask questions about that field and things like that. Uh,
Mhm.
how do you keep this is probably going to be a tough question because I've dealt with it myself. But how do you keep good relationships when you are frustrated with perhaps the other side of business, when things aren't going the way that you want them to go, and you still have to work for that client? How have you ever come into a situation like that and had to balance it?
I try not to walk in with expectations into a project because then I'll be disappointed.
Mm,
So when you are doing something for yourself, you are your own client. So expect yourself to pay yourself real good because then you can do whatever you want. So if I'm the one paying me, I can do whatever I want and I can't fire me. So I am very clear. And that's one thing I understood very early on in my career. Anything I do, if I'm not paying for it, I am working for somebody. And
hmm.
I have mad respect for anybody that I work with. And then I'm very selective with who I work with because if they're going to call the shots and they're going to determine what I'm going to say, how it's going to be said, where I'm going to go, and how I'm going to say it, then I make sure that the person I'm working with is somebody that I will trust, will never ask me to do something that goes against one of my basic principles. So in this case, I've been very happy with who I've had to deal with. And yes, there have been clients that have been like, oh, and then, but I still have to understand if I'm dealing with this client, it is because one, I either like the relationship that we have and I want something out of it. So I got to come up with my part. But if it is a relationship in which I don't find myself comfortable, safe, then I need to also make a determination. If I cut ties or I sever this relationship, will this cost me my personal goals in the future? Or is this okay for me to step back? Or can I
Oh.
speak clearly to this client and let them know that I'm not comfortable? Will it risk my relationship? And I think sometimes artists think they're a lot more valuable than they are. And if we put
Mm,
ourselves in our place and understand, look, there's a lot of great people out there. Everybody has value, but you're not invaluable.
okay.
That little thing is what a lot of artists think. I demand this, I should have gotten that, I should have done this, or they should have paid me more. Look, be grateful that you have a job. Be grateful that somebody's still calling you, asking you for something, because in the moment that you start bad mouthing people in the industry, regardless of what industry you're in, trust me, you're going to get blackballed, and you don't want to be blackballed if this is what you want to do. So be very careful when you say something about somebody or are not willing to do something. If you got yourself in a hole, try to get yourself nicely out of it. But if you're already in there, you got to be like, okay, I'm going to not do this again, but I'm not going to sever this relationship because this is where I want to be at. So be careful with thinking yourself as completely invaluable. Everybody is disposable.
Mm. Hey, I hope y'all taking notes. Those were bars right there. Those are absolute bars. Um, so again, doing this thing that you do on a daily basis, how do you find balance? Because you said that you own some businesses with your husband.
Yes.
You're doing the singing, you're doing the voice acting. So, and you got the family. And I know you talked about schedules, but me as a creator, so I want to see if this is kind of like something that you deal with
Hmm.
too. I have problems saying no to
Ah,
things that may like I'm like, oh, that's a great opportunity, but shit, I've already got I've already got four things going on this week, but I don't want to lose out on this. So, do you ever come into scenarios like that? And if so, how do you pick and choose that balance?
I come into those scenarios every single day. When I open up my email, I'll have three or four or five different, things submitted by my agents that I could audition for. But then I have these many priorities in my day. And so if I can find a little nugget of time to be able to do one or two or three of those opportunities, I do it. And now if I have a lot of opportunities and I'm on tour and I didn't bring my microphone and I'm not ready, then I can't grab a hold of something that was never mine. There's
Mm,
always going to be many opportunities out there. There's no such thing as you fishing every fish out of the ocean. And if you do that, your family's going to leave you. You're going to end up divorced. You're going to end up sad. You're going to end up with a drinking problem or drug habit. There's no way you can do it all. There's only
mm,
24 hours in the day. So there has to be a moment in which you see that email or you see that opportunity and you say, yeah, I'm going to miss my kids, event, or I already made you know, uh, a compromise to go and do this gig over here. So I can't do these both things at the same time. So you got to understand that opportunity is not for you. That
okay.
opportunity came to you, but it's not for you because you are already at your limit of what you can handle. And when you start putting more things on your plate because you want to eat it all, it's like being in a buffet and then you say, I'm going to stop eating the moment there's no more food. No, you stop eating when you're full and you got to walk away from the restaurant while there's still chicken and you still got some, mac and cheese in there. Like you got to walk away and say, I'm satisfied. So I've learned in life to be satisfied with what I can handle, to serve my plate as full as I can and understand this is going to make me full. And yeah, I might have left some more food there, more opportunities there, but those aren't mine. And somebody else is going to benefit from them. And it happens to me all the time. And I'll turn on the TV and I'll see a film or I'll see a commercial. I'm like, that's the one they sent me. That's a good voice though. Like, but I got respect for the person that gets it because then I hear it and I go, dang, that's really good performance. That was really good. Like I have something to learn from that person. Or if I did, submit to something because you do not get everything you submit to as a voiceover actress, you may submit to 100 things and you may book three. You know what I mean? There's If you're the voice, you're the voice. That doesn't mean you're not good. You're not the voice they're looking for. Everybody has an essence within their voices, and they're either looking for you or they're not looking for your particular skill. If you have an agent or if you're getting these opportunities, it's because you are good. If somebody's calling you on the phone, and it's because you are requested, you are good. But if you don't have the time, then that opportunity is not for you. So as long as you're okay not being overly greedy with opportunities that are there at the table, then be grateful that you got yourself a plate and the buffet will be there tomorrow. And maybe they won't be serving chicken. Maybe they'll be serving steak. And maybe you'll be like, dang it, I didn't get none of that chicken yesterday. Just enjoy your steak. Otherwise, you'll always live a life of ungratefulness and feeling like all the opportunities are, passing by or you didn't do enough. And that just leads to a really hard life filled with feelings of mediocrity and selfishness.
Mm. All right. I love it. I love it. This is like a mini school session here. All right. Hold on. I missed one. There we go. Okay. Give me a color scheme. What 2 to 3 colors you like to rock?
Oh, colors. I
Yeah.
like to jean for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like to rock purple, and I also like blue, like yellows. I like yellows.
Okay.
Like the Dolores colors are really fun. I really, really like them.
All right. Let's get that back up, and we're gonna go into Amayu. What's up, Fee? How you doing? Fee said, "Oh, did I just drop in on a word? You have value. You're not invaluable. I love it. I told that was a bar. That was an absolute bar. What's for you will never miss you. Yeah. So obviously, you've got experience. You talk like a very experienced person that's had a lot of ups and downs. Can you speak on? Can you speak on a moment where things did not work out the way you wanted them to work out? Maybe even something that you like felt like this may have been the point where you needed that you should stop and not look back at this. And like, how did you come off from that?
Oh my goodness, they happen all the time.
Mm,
Like when you're giving a performance and you feel like you could have done better, you need to understand that's where you are. Give yourself some grace and understand that's the performance that is there. If you want to do better on the next one. But crying over what is already been done, why? You can't change the past. So I am a person that learns from the past but doesn't hold on to it. I think it leads you to spending a lot more money on therapy than you should. You know what I mean?
hmm
If you see, oh man, I should have done better. I could have done this. I didn't do that. It's like, okay, great. What if this opportunity came back in your present time or in the future? Be ready for it. And sometimes you need to understand that things are not going against you. This world is what you make of it. So if you didn't, or you missed, if you feel you missed an opportunity, it could been that that wasn't for you and something better is coming to you in your future. Or if you never get that opportunity again, there are things that one step leads to a second step, leads to a third step, leads to a fourth step. Maybe you were not ready. Maybe it will not lead you to having the most joy. I'm constantly in pursuit of joy. So when things don't work out the way that I was hoping or I wish to or that I foresaw them to, I just go, you know what? There must be a reason that I don't understand. And at a future time, I'll look back on and go, if this would have happened, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to do this. So I'm grateful for it. So I live in a state of gratefulness, whether I get something or not, whether I do good or not. And I also am constantly learning. Okay, my body does things a little different than before. I had the COVID. So now I've learned to function different. I know
mm.
how to act different, what my body likes, what it doesn't like. So I'm a lot more like I've become one with understanding myself and being a lot more gracious to myself.
Very well spoken. Amelia says Adessa in here is preaching. Amen.
I'm telling you, life is too short for you to waste it thinking, what if I shoulda, coulda, woulda. No.
Yeah.
And also comparing yourself to others. My goodness, I'm a dark skinned Latina. Do I look like Stephanie Beatriz? No. And we're both Colombian. Did I look like Diane Guerrero? No. So just understand your avatar. Like right now that you're drawing this looks most epic. It really does. It looks most epic. But I understand that you have a certain gift. That's not my gift. And I can appreciate your gift. But I don't feel like that should have been mine. I think that
Mhm.
sometimes in life when we become so sequestered by our own desires that we can no longer appreciate the beauty that is us. And I think that we need to appreciate ourselves instead of comparing ourselves so much. Instead of comparing, I would say, look within others those qualities that you want to take and make yours and say like, wow, that person's really patient, that person has really nice skin, I wonder what his skin regimen is, instead of, oh, that one's so much prettier than I am, that one's so much better than I am, so much more talented than I am, so much more skilled than I am. And because you know what happens, you want to just get in bed with a big bucket of Haagen-Dazs and cry yourself to sleep because you'll
Mhm.
never be as good as anybody. So instead of doing that, and having an endless bound of envy, just look at them, appreciate them, and see what can I incorporate in my life that this person is doing. What good is that person doing? So I constantly just trying to learn from everything, including my kids. They teach me a ton.
Well, okay, that brings us to a great transition. What are some things that your kids have taught you?
Some things that my kids have taught me is don't take things so seriously. Like my
Hmm.
daughter will literally, I have my daughter Alyssa, who's actually cast in the film of Encanto. She's a town kid in the film. She'll literally just walk up to me and burp in my face, and I'm like, what? Why did you just burp in my face? And then I'm like, yeah, she breaks sometimes like I'll be so focused, she just breaks my focus, kind of like sprinkling some water on a doggy's face. It's like, what just happened? So I guess they reset me in a beautiful way, and I'm just more appreciative of life and of every single moment. I have so much more appreciation for every single moment in life.
Awesome. Fee says it's a blessing we don't look like what we've been through. That's
Oh.
grace.
But you know what? We do ooze that in our voices. And so when you're using your voice or your art, understand that everything we've been through is reflective of that. And it's not such a bad thing, regardless of how dark and how tumultuous and how painful each of us have of a past. Understand that when you're hearing my voice, in my interpretation, you're hearing part of my past and my pain and my joy. You hear all of it. That's why you can tell the difference between this actor and that actor, because what you're sensing is not just the tone of their voice and where they're speaking or what are they saying. Like it doesn't really matter how they're speaking. It's who they are you're really feeling. So that's what makes a casting director pick up on, oh, this person is this. Sometimes we don't even know it. So don't be don't punish your past so much, embrace it, and you'll understand who you are as an original being, instead of trying to be a copy of this guy or that guy because they're famous or because they have the most followers or whatever, or they get the raises every year and they get to be in the front of the line. Who you are is special and is important, and that painful past, if you embrace it, will make you more powerful than you will ever believe that you are.
Look, I want you. I want y'all chat to pay attention. This woman is definitely talking from a place of experience because knowledge is being dropped on this show, and you can tell it is genuine, it is heartfelt, and it is it's real. What she's saying. Bunch of diamonds and hearts from Fee and Amayu. And Amayu is my co-host, but she is going out of town tomorrow,
Ah,
so she couldn't be here tonight.
a
But
mayo.
but she's in the chat supporting, which is awesome. So what is your big geekdom thing that you're doing right now? Like, is there any movie you've just recently seen? Anything that you've binged? Obviously, I know you said you watched My Hero with your kids, but
Yeah.
what gets you? What do you want to check out as a fan?
Oh my goodness. As a fan, well, we just watched Inside Out 2, and I had been waiting for it. Like, I
Okay.
mean, it came out a little bit a way ago, but I really liked where the perspective, because my kids are at different ages and some of them are going through that teen phase. And I thought they did a good job of letting you feel what that is, and having admiration for somebody. That's really cool. I'm really excited because I will be in Florida in 1 week with the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square. We will be performing in Fort Lauderdale. And it's just beautiful to be able to share uplifting music. It's an incredible experience to be there with a 360-piece orchestra.
Ooh.
And it's this 360 voices, and then I think it's like a 180-piece orchestra. So in total, it's like over 500 people within the team of that you see in the show. And so I was with them on tour through their in Mexico and then in Utah, and now we will be together in Florida. So we'll be there September 7th in Florida, so you'll be able to check that out. But yeah, I'm into a lot of new musical explorations right now, and I'm really enjoying that. Working on some more film and TV music and projects. So excited to jump on whatever my kids are on, because they always bring to my attention so many cool shows that I'm like, yes, let's do it.
Yeah, that's a problem in our house. My daughters and my son are always hipping me to something. Probably my favorite one that we've watched that my daughter has hit me to is Spy Family, which was really good.
Yes, yes.
We binged that together, and then my other daughter got me hooked on the Extraordinary Attorney Woo. It's a K
Oh,
drama.
I have not seen. I'm writing it down. The
Hey,
Extraordinary Attorney Wu. Okay.
it's incredible. It is incredible, and we were watching it like we watched the episode every day when she came home from
Oh,
school,
how cool.
and
Aw.
it was our jam. And then Spy Family, we just binged, and then we went to the movies to go see the movie version of it or whatnot. And my son finds all these like there's so much stuff in anime, and he finds all these like kind of wizard shows where like
Ooh,
where someone gets reincarnated into a video game world, but they're super powerful. And it's not about the battles, but it's about the characters. And
love
like
it.
he always finds those. And my wife, she always gets me on some reality TV show. Like I don't want to watch it, but we watch it, and then I'm caught up into it. I'm caught up into the drama, and I'm like, why is that happening? And she's just laughing it up at me because I've got sucked into this world of reality TV with her. So definitely feel you on the family hangouts with the with the TV and stuff.
But it's really important for people to laugh together. For those of you who do not have kids like us, but are just in a relationship, like have friends or coworkers, it is so important for the soul and for true relationships to actually flourish to laugh together. Just that simple fact. So if you have something you can share together that makes you laugh, just do it. And your relationships will become so much more long lasting and deeper.
Yeah, we've I travel to a lot of shows, and I go with a lot of my friends who help out and stuff, and they know what we're doing when we get done with the show. If there's an event or whatever, we'll go. But they know when we go back to the hotel room, we are watching SVU. We are watching
Ah,
Law and Order SVU because it is on in every single hotel, and I trust me. Whatever episode they're playing, you have not seen. There's always an episode that you have not seen, and we get caught up into it and and crash out and have a good time. It's always fun watching
ah,
stuff with people.
that's so great. That's so great.
Where are we at? Oh shoot, we only got a couple more minutes here. I was trying to get this done. Looks like I might have to work on it a little bit more
Oh, that looks
off
so
the
beautiful.
clock.
Come on, people, look at this. And he says a little bit more. Look at that. Fantastic.
I was trying to work my speed on, see if I can get it finished. I want this to be the sun behind you and the
Love it.
sky. I just gotta. I'm gonna work on this third color here, and then get your hair color right. But yeah, this will be yours to do whatever you want.
Oh,
You get
sweet.
to have this.
That's
Um,
so cute.
this is super fun, but we only have a couple minutes left. Time has flown by in this conversation. That's what I love about this show is that you get caught up into it and you're like, oh shoot, we are at time. But let me see here. Stop. If you want to tell everybody like your socials where they can follow you at and the next event
Yeah.
they can check you at, go right ahead.
Well, I would love for you guys to follow me at Adassa Official on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Please do write to me. I love to keep up with all of you guys. I will be in Knoxville in September. I will also be in Miami at the airport, Miami Airport Convention Center in October, and of course the Tabernacle Choir concert in Florida. And yeah, I'll also be in San Jose in November and in Colorado in December. So yeah, lots of events. And like I said, I will be doing a Tuttle Twins episode, which comes out in November. So please check that out and follow me on socials. Let's do it. Let's keep in touch. And like I said, if you have anything in life that you want to do, don't wait until tomorrow. Today is the day that you make your mark and that you make your path towards what you want to explore, become better at. So seize the day. Don't leave for tomorrow what is today, because tomorrow's not promised. You have today. And I'm so grateful to be with you, most epic, and to be able to share a little time with all of you.
I was very excited to have you on here. I was looking forward to this day. So it was a pleasure talking to you at the show. So I was definitely looking forward to this conversation and digging in a little bit more about who you are as a creative and things like that. So I really appreciate you taking the time to be on the show with us tonight.
Well, thank you. And I'll leave you with grew to live in fear of Bruno stuttering or stumbling. I can always hear him sort of muttering and mumbling. I'll associate him with the sound of falling sand.
I gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. All right, cool beans, cool beans. So look, everybody, if you guys are all here, please give her a follow on the show. She's amazing. And please be aware, she posts her schedule when she's going to be at shows and stuff. If you have the opportunity to meet her in person, please do. She is fantastic. She's very good to her fans, and it's just she's a light. She's a light when you're around her. So be sure to check her out. And I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode. Thank you, chat, for being here.
Oh, before I go, I have to shout out this family, the Frost family, Odin. He is somebody that he just tuned in. Love Odin, and to all the Frost family.
Awesome. See what I'm saying? See how nice she is? So be sure to check her out. Thanks for tuning in today's episode. If you liked it, please give it a subscribe, a like, a follow, or a share. We're trying to find our audience, and we want more people to be able to hang out with us and check out the cool things that we do. But thank you, Adassa, for coming on to the show. And everybody else, you guys have a good night. We'll catch you at the next one.
Buenas noches. Bye.
I think that I should ask Mr. Watson. I think that I should ask Mr. Watson.